Saya, Datuk Haji Muhammad Naruddin bin Haji Majais, Chairman of Sarawak Design Centre or SARADAC. To all distinguished guests, heads of departments, esteemed speakers, our kind sponsors and strategic partners, exhibitors, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, selamat datang, and a warm welcome to the opening ceremony of Sarawak Design Week 2023, the first homegrown design-led expo here in Malaysia. Let's hear it for Sarawak Design Week. We are history in the making. Briefly, ladies and gentlemen, Sarawak Design Week is organized by Sarawak Design Centre, SARADAC, in collaboration with the Institute of Technology Bandung, Indonesia, supported by Sarawak Timber Industry Development Corporation, STIDC, and endorsed by the Ministry of International Trade, Industry and Investment, Sarawak. Theme Design for Tomorrow. It aimed to showcase and exhibit creative designs by Say designers or Sarawak young designers, and at the same time to create awareness and inculcate interest on the importance of design among the furniture industry players and society here in Sarawak. Honorable and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we begin our ceremony this morning with a dua recital, and to lead, we invite on stage Al-Fadhil Ustaz Tuan Haji Muhammad Ehsan Haji Haize, Timbalan Imam Besar Negeri Sarawak.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم إنا نسألك خير هذا اليوم فتحه ونصره ونوره وبركته وهداه ونعوذ بك من شر ما فيه وشر ما بعده. Allahumma ya Allah, dengan penuh rasa kehambaan dan kesyukuran, kami menadah tangan memohon kehadratmu ya Allah. Kurniakanlah rahmat dan kebaikan yang sepenuhnya buat kami semua sempena Majlis Perasmian Sarawak Design Week yang akan disempurnakan oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Haji Abdul Rahman Zohari bin Tun Datuk Abang Haji Openg, Premier Sarawak. Allahumma ya Allah ya Fattah ya Alim ya Allah. Let this occasion be a part of our continuous efforts in doing good deeds and virtues. Please grace this occasion with your blessings and mercy. May we achieve all its noble aims and objectives. Render us the strength, diligence and patience so that we can work together in building our nation towards a new height of advancement, progress, and excellence. With all the useful knowledge, valuable experience, and precious outcomes that we may gain from this occasion, please grant upon us the strength to benefit thereof, Ya Allah, for the enhancement of our community and nation. Allahumma ya Allah ya Hayyu ya Qayyum. Dengan segala rasa rendah diri kami memohon kehadratmu ya Allah, agar dikurniakan dengan taufik dan hidayahmu, sentiasa di bawah pimpinan dan petunjukmu. Eratkanlah perpaduan antara kami, mesrakanlah hubungan sesama kami, lindungi dan peliharalah kami daripada segala bahaya dan perkara yang tidak diingini, dan majukanlah Sarawak dan negara kami Malaysia dengan inayah dan riayahmu ya Ilahi. Allahumma bika nasta'in wa alayka natawakkal wa anta rabbul arshil azim. Irhamna ya Rabbana fa innaka anta arhamur rahimin. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala khairi khalqihi sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Our thanks and appreciation to Al-Fadhil Ustaz Tuan Haji Muhammad Ehsan bin Haji Haize, Timbalan Imam Besar Negeri Sarawak for the dua recital. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, may we now have the pleasure to invite the Honorable Dato' Amar Haji Wan Tengah Ali Hassan, Deputy Premier, Second Minister for Natural Resources and Urban Development, and Minister of International Trade, Industry and Investment Sarawak on stage to deliver his speech. The Honorable Dato' Amar, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And very good morning to all of you. The Right Honorable Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Dato' Abang Haji Abdul Rahman Zohari, Bentun Dato' Abang Haji Oping, Premier of Sarawak, the Honorable Deputy Ministers, distinguished guests, Dato' Norodin, Chairman of Sarawak, Consulate General of Indonesia, Bapak Radin Sigit. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, allow me to thank Yang Amat Berhormat Dato' Petinggi Haji Abdul Rahman Zohari, Bintun Abang Haji Oping, the Premier of Sarawak, for his presence today, despite of his very, very hectic schedule. Sir, your presence today shows your care and strong support in making our event very meaningful. I would like to thank and congratulate the organizers for making this important event a reality. This is the first time that we organize this Design Week. Hopefully this is going to be annual events with your support. I wish to welcome all of you, including those who flew all the way from Korea, Vietnam, Singapore, and West Malaysia to attend and participate in this Design Week, and those coming as a guest speakers for Speakers Corner session and B2B business session. Welcome to Kuching, to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sarawak Design Week is the first to be organized by Sarawak, a wholly owned subsidiary of Sarawak Timber Industry Development Corporation, STIDC, in collaboration with Ministry of International Trade, Industry and Investment Sarawak, Institute Technology Bandung, ITB, Indonesia, and other strategic partners such as Sarawak Timber Association, Sarawak Furniture Industries Association, STIDC, UNIMAS, University of Technology, Sarawak, College Community, MIRI, Centec Commercial, and Tun Juga Foundation. This event with the theme Design for Tomorrow is timely and relevant to instill and promote the importance of design for business and the enrichment of creativity in society. Design for Tomorrow ignites the aspirations of how creative works and design can contribute to the betterment of Sarawak economy. Sarawak has a rich culture with diversified ethnic groups, which is beneficial for creative design. It is timely for Sarawak to embark and focus on the designs of creative products from Sarawak to penetrate international market. This event is indeed a strategic platform for designers and local producers to view and enhance Sarawak products through creative design. I wish to thank all the speakers for sharing their knowledge on this subject, and hopefully the audience will benefit from it, particularly the Sarawak young designers. The establishment of Saradek in 2021 was mooted in line with the establishment of Kursi Pusaka at UNIMAS. The main objective of Kursi Pusaka is to carry out more research and development of a high value-added timber products, particularly furniture. In addition, it also aimed to identify and select young UNIMAS graduates to become professional designers and researchers in this field. Since its establishment 7 years ago, Kursi Pusaka at UNIMAS becomes the feeder to the Young Designers Program. The collaboration between ISTIADC and Fakultas Seni Rupa dan Desain of Institute Technology Bandung, Indonesia, has benefited the young designers from Sarawak by giving them a great opportunity to deepen their skills and knowledge in design. The program has produced hundreds of creative designs by the young designers, along with many prototypes. And today you have seen, and you are going to see, there are a number of the products produced by our young designers, not only in this hall, but there are a number of exhibitions. This is one of the product produced by our young designers. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this event, though this is the first time that we organize, will benefit all sectors, especially to give some encouragement to our young designers. The future of furniture industry is very, very, very huge. We should capitalize on this. And living style has changed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this event will be very successful and beneficial to everybody. Once again, I would like to thank YAB Premier of Sarawak for your presence today, sir. Thank you also to all speakers and invited guests for your attendance. And I hope This will be the starting point for us to inculcate an appreciation to design, for the design in all creative work that we do. Thank you very much.
Our thanks and appreciation to the Honorable Dato' Amar Haji Wan Tengah bin Ali Hassan, Deputy Premier, Second Minister for Natural Resources and Urban Development and Minister of International Trade, Industry and Investment Sarawak, for his welcoming speech. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, Sarawak Design Week 2023 is set to showcase all things design and will feature a host of activities throughout the 4-day event, bringing together some of the most innovative and creative minds in the design industry and showcasing the latest trends as well as technologies in architecture, fashion, graphic design, and more. And this morning, we have a special presentation by our keynote speaker who will be presenting on the topic Design for Tomorrow, Driving the Economic Transformation of Sarawak by Design. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Yang Berbahagia, Dato' Professor Ian Davies.
Before I start, may I thank the very Honourable Premier of Sarawak for hosting us today, to the other ministers, Your Excellency, distinguished speakers. So, what I'm going to try to talk about for just a few minutes is the way that we can transform and change Sarawak. So, what I'd better do is first of all introduce exactly who I am, okay? So, my name is Dato' Professor Ian Davies, or my Muslim name is Haji Askindola. I've lived in Malaysia for 26 years. In a previous life, I've run some of the world's largest office furniture companies, $2 billion companies in Europe, with across 10 countries. And all of those companies were driven by design. And I'll tell you a little bit about that as I go through this. Here in Malaysia, I was the special advisor to the Najib government for design and innovation. And then after 2018, I became the economic advisor to the government, particularly driving design. And I use design thinking to change in a small way the way that the government operates. I'm also a professor of design practice, and part of what I want to try to do today is to share with you how design as a business can change Sarawak. So I'm going to give you a quick story just before I start, the work I did with Petronas on the Twin Towers. I led the design team for the interior of the Twin Towers. And before I joined Arc Radius, my partner, my boss, had started the company, and he was pitching at the very start with Petronas for the project. And he put in a competitive, he just started in business. Sorry, he'd been in interior design, but he just set up his own business. And Petronas gave him the contract, and he looked at it and said, "I'm sorry, I can't sign this." And they were shocked. And they said, "Why? What's the problem?" He said, "You're paying me too much. You've made a mistake. If I sign this, I will never have to work again for the rest of my life." As a result of that, we were then fortunate. In fact, we did a lot of work for Petronas since the towers first were created. And I'll just share with you the process that, in fact, we use for designing at scale. We were the first company in the world to actually get ISO 9001 for design. And it's a very structured process. So you start off with a design brief, you establish the design parameters, you come up with conceptual designs. Then you do the detail work, the construction, the completion. This applies whether it's furniture, whether you're doing a building like this. For instance, when I did KLIA and Subang Sky Park, everything starts off with the way that people flow through the building. So you start off by actually trying to understand the needs of the client. So if I go back to, I was doing a presentation to the board of directors of Petronas in 2018. And before I was doing the presentation, I was trying to think, what on earth am I going to say? We've done this project with this client twice now, major renovations. I can't comment or criticize the work that in fact we've done before. But this time what Petronas were trying to do was, initially it was how to actually help their staff to actually collaborate together. And then it became, when lockdown came in, it became work from home. So we're invited to actually go in with a competitive tender. And I was trying to figure out what on earth to say. So I go into the room. So there's the group CEO, 10 of his board of directors, and then in the background, the back benches, about 50 people. And I look at the CEO and I said, what I've written here. What is the greatest challenge that you face as the group CEO of Petronas? And he just looked at me. And the room went very cold. And nothing was said. So after about 45 seconds, I said, could it be finding and keeping talent? His response immediately was, you're right. And my response to that was, our design will give you the tools to achieve that objective, especially with Gen Y. Now, the reason I'm sharing this story is traditionally, I would actually go into all of these beautiful visuals, these renderings. This is Petronas, actually. This is the office we've done for Petronas, the collaboration area. But really what I want all of you to understand, whether you're a designer, whether you're a manufacturer, design is not just about aesthetics. That's important, but it's about solving problems and meeting the client needs. So the thing that all of us have to do, and in politics as well, is to understand what do the people need, and then you meet those needs. So all of our work as designers is basically bringing together people, the place, and the process, what they actually do. And the challenge is, particularly if you're a furniture designer, where all of those three things overlap is the place of maximum conflict. So it's not an easy job. So all of my working life, I've always believed that in fact good design is good business. Here in Malaysia, we're never going to be the cheapest. We've got to be realistic about that. But we can offer the very best value for money to the international market through design, through innovation, and a focus on great service and customer satisfaction. So I was chief judge at MIF at the International Furniture Fair, which is Asia Pacific's second largest furniture fair, largest in ASEAN. I was the chief judge for 6 years. And remember, everyone believes that in fact Malaysia has seen tremendous success in its furniture industry, which it has. But I could see from the work I was doing with MIF that we were falling behind our competitors, particularly in the growth of export sales. And to be honest, if you just look at, in the eyes of the world, how people actually see us. So, you know, if you're from Italy, furniture from Italy, it's got style, it's got a cachet about it. If it's Singapore, it's about innovation. If it's Vietnam, which has become very, very popular, it's about craft and the material. Malaysia, it's Roger. It's just a mess up. No one knows what we stand for. Then when we go to Italy, and I'll talk about that in a minute, at the world's largest furniture fair. These are examples. I took this when I first started doing work for MTIB. In Thailand and Singapore, a statement in terms of what the country actually stands for through its furniture. Again, Malaysia, Roger, who are we? So I started doing work looking at where does the problem come from. And I'd like to repeat what Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said to me when I asked him why, in the Najib government, why he'd elected to become Minister of Education. And he said to me, if you want to change a nation, you start with education. So I started looking at our education system in relationship to other worlds, particularly with regard to design. And the leaders are USA, Korea, Japan, and the UK. But I was particularly interested in Scandinavia because my late sister, who was a professor in Sweden, I was doing work with the furniture industry in Sweden. And I wanted to look at what was happening in Denmark. So I'm just going to run a short video, very short video, just a little bit about how they do things in Norway. In Denmark. Sound? We've lost the sound. No, that's it. No. It worked perfectly okay a couple of hours ago. Yeah, so. Which one? Yeah, so. All right, don't worry. Yeah, sure. Which one? You mean the control or what? No, sound, so. Let me just play it. So.
Most of
The sound's working now.
Årene går her, ikke? Og regner sammen der, og regner ud der. Og det er fordi, at
okay,
what
this particular move is all about is actually talking about the fact that it's the designers are cabinet makers. They understand.
Altså, vi skal bare sådan. Hvis du ser en snedker gå på en udstilling, så han går altid sådan med fingrene.
Hans Wegner was one of the most well-known of the group. He sought inspiration for his designs by spending time in woodworking shops, like P.P. Møbler.
Vi startede værkstedet i 53. Der kom Wegner for at se værkstedet, han aldrig været før. Og der er et eller andet, der fænger han. kom til at holde meget af det værksted. Er det ren dekoration, spørger de altid om.
Ikke bare dekoration, men det er for at holde de to adskilt. Det er for at få balance i tingene, og det kan man altså udnytte ved at gøre det der.
Og adskilt, så kan det lige så godt være dekorativt.
I hvert fald dengang, der var det fantastisk, at vi havde den der håndfuld gode danske arkitekter. Det var fordi, at der havde de også nogle værksteder, de kunne hen og eksperimentere sammen med. Så det hænger sammen, det hele der med at samarbejde mellem arkitekter og værkstederne.
Når det drejer sig om Wegner, så var han hamrende dygtig håndværker selv. Han kom tit med en stol, han selv havde lavet forinden. Og helt ned i modeltyper, det han selv lavede, det var gennemarbejde, når han kom. Der var ikke noget at lave om på. Og så havde han tegninger, der overgik alle andre. Mærkeligt nok også. De var så enormt fabelagtige. Alle rækken af smil og sager. Det var meget sjovt.
Wegener handcrafted his furniture in a number of small, family-owned workshops, including Carl Hansen and Son.
The funny part today is, of course, that Wegener never made any, can you say, mathematical formulas for his way of making a circle or anything like that. This was, a circle was made so it fit your body well and that you sit in it, but it is not a complete circle. So when you have to make it on a modern electronic machine, you can't, because you don't have any mathematical formula. The favorite is, of course, the wishbone chair. And the wishbone chair we have produced since 1949. It has a very special characteristic. The seat is made of paper, woven paper, and this is very unique. The paper has got very long fibers, and that means that it will not be able to stretch. It is extremely strong, and it is made in a very unique way, so that if you had made it a millimeter thinner, it would have broken to pieces, and if you had made it a millimeter thicker, it wouldn't look nice. It is absolutely perfect.
So, when I was running Herman Miller, I started to teach at the Royal College of Art, and that's one of the world's top design colleges, design schools. It's postgraduate. Two of my students at the time, who became multimillionaires, Ross Lovegrove and Tom Dixon. But what I really learned from teaching there, I taught there for 10 years part-time, was first of all the importance of physically making things. You really understand how furniture works if you physically make it. And I was having my performance review one year from the European managing director, and he said to me, "How do you justify all the time you're giving to this college?" And I said, "Well, I think it makes me a better manager." And he said, how prove it? So I said, "Okay, let me tell you a story about a recent project." I should explain, at that time I was head of European design and head of sales and marketing, with 10 countries responsibility. So anyway, I said, so recently we had a situation where we had a young Japanese designer, hardly spoke any English at all, and he submitted a prototype of a glass coffee table. And I looked at it, dismissed it, told him in front of the class, "I'm sorry, this won't work. It'll collapse." And to be honest, because I got a degree in physics, I arrogantly assumed I understood how the thing would actually work. The whole of the class, all 17 of these postgraduate designers said, Sir, you're wrong. Give him a chance. Let him build it. We prototyped it, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing. It was wonderful. And I learned then to change the way I manage people, to actually listen and recognize that, in fact, all of us, whatever our position in society, can actually offer can actually help you come to a better decision. But the other thing is, here in Malaysia, and I'm external examiner at many, many universities, plus being a professor at one of them, is that I'll be looking at the degree work. I'll say, I want to have a look at your sketchbook. So I'll go through the sketchbook, and I'll come to something, and it's really good. And I'll say to the designer, I like this is very good. And they'll look straight and smile and happy and, yes, sir. And I'll say, but I don't understand. What you've submitted for your degree assessment is that over there. And that's nowhere near as good as this thing here. Why? Why did you do that one? And he said, sir, my lecturer told me to do that. All right? And our problem in our society here is that we assume always that the authority figure knows best. Whether it's a boss, whether it's a teacher, whether it's your father or mother. And I honestly strongly recommend to the designers, question and challenge. Fight for your ideas. If you think you're right, explain why. Okay, so the next section is about craft. And part of what I want to do is to actually show you a vision of the way that the craft industry here in Sarawak could be developed if you build alliances with designers. And this is actually featuring another one of my students from the Royal College of Art, who's incredibly successful around the world. This was made about 10 years ago now.
Belonging to the Wellcome Trust. So how did they make this commission? What did they ask for?
We were approached to do a sculpture within this building, and as you can see, it's a really massive building, and it just seems really frustrating that this building, there was a need for some really quite large objects, and yet the only way to get it inside was through a pretty normal sized door, I mean virtually like a domestic sized door, and so it pushed us really.
So faced with the challenge of making a sculpture from pieces no bigger than the doorway, Heatherwick went one better and used parts that would fit through the letterbox. But nevertheless, the vastness of the finished object is overwhelming.
Oh, that's quite something.
How tall is that?
The whole space is about 33 metres, just the object itself is 30 metres high.
The numbers are mind-boggling. There are 27,000 wires, carrying 150,000 glass spheres. Beads, that is.
When Tom decided he was going to submit a proposal for the Wellcome Trust sculpture, I got a phone call. Mom, you know your bead curtain that's hanging up? Well, and then he started to ask all sorts of questions about how it was constructed. This is the bead curtain that Tom meant in the phone call. The whole big image of a huge thing is built up out of tiny units, like pixels on a computer image. And I think it gave Tom the idea for building something out of very small units together. He's pushed the envelope, as you would say, of things that can be made with beads.
So for me, this is the best possible way to see this large experiment that we've done in this building.
So what is this shape? What does it represent?
This shape was kind of chosen as the antidote to the building, which was quite rectilinear. There was this amazing, almost like a gravity chamber, really high vertiginous space with water, and the clue for us was in the liquid. What happens when you take that liquid that's down at the bottom and gravity affects it? I'd seen film footage of liquids falling and the amazing twisting, turning forms that were being made. And it just struck us that a designer would never design anything better than gravity would in thousandths of a second. We were trying out lots of different substances, and the one thing that worked really, really well was molten white casting metal poured into water. In a fraction of a second, you get these extraordinary forms. So our job as designers turned into, rather than designing the exact shape, choosing, which was quite interesting. Rather than spending 3 months refining and shaping and honing, instead we had about 500 or 600 of these tests that we did. This is the actual final model of the one that we used. So this is the actual piece we used. This was the one that really fitted with the building.
The other remarkable thing about this sculpture is its title. Bleigießen is a German tradition which involves pouring molten lead into water and trying to tell the future from the solidified shapes.
We didn't know anything about this at all when we won the competition with this project. But my grandmother came to the studio, was really interested, and as she has been in all our projects, and said, I just want to see what this project is that you're working on. And walked straight into the studio, and just when she looked at the test pieces we'd made, just said, this is Bleigießen. And she explained that this was this Eastern European tradition that she'd done as a child. But the funny thing has been that the most eminent scientists of the world come here, and we get reports back saying, you know, Dr. So-and-so thinks that this is a protein molecule. They're sure this is a protein molecule. And I like that you can read into it what you want.
As with all Heatherwick's work, this was an enormous technical challenge.
So I can give you, not today, many examples where designers have used beads in Europe, in the States, not just doing sculptures, doing fabrics and various other things, which have transformed industry. The ones I know about are in Thailand, where literally a tiny blue bead it was incorporated in some fabric as a prototype, and it became incredibly successful in Germany, and the small village then went from just manufacturing, making everything by hand, to building 1 factory, to building 3 factories. So there's a great potential to actually take our craft industries here, working together with designers to actually create a whole new economic opportunity for people in the remote areas. So really what I want you to do is to actually understand that in fact design and designers are agents of change. And I'm just going to share 2 examples here. So the first one is Charles and Ray Eames, architect, a furniture designer, and you'll know a lot of their furniture, I'll show you. And then I'm going to run a short video about Frank Gehry and his design, the way he works. So basically what's interesting about Charles and Ray Eames is that they reinvented furniture. They started off with wood, and they used the technology of mosquito bombers to actually create shaped plywood, and it became some of the chairs here. Then they started work with aluminium, with wire, and basically they revolutionized the way that in fact we think about furniture and furniture making, and these are still classics today. But this next movie is about, short clip is about Frank Gehry and the way he designs some of the most amazing buildings in the world.
Is starting hard?
You know it is. I don't know what you do when you start, but I clean my desk. I make a lot of stupid appointments that I make sound important. Avoidance, delay, denial. I'm always scared that I'm not going to know what to do. It's a terrifying moment. And then when I start, I'm always amazed. Oh, that wasn't so bad.
Okay.
If you're a complete layman and not an architectural specialist, what's so hot about Frank Gehry?
It's a bit about...
What's all the fuss about?
3 minutes.
He's changed the look of a very, in a sense, conservative field.
He mixes the freewheelingness of art with something that is really concrete and unforgiving, which is the laws of physics. And you put up a post and lintel construction or a building, and man, that thing has got to stand. And I believe all of his buildings have been standing.
He's an architect who is also an artist. He takes so many risks, and that's what artists do. Artists take risks to do something new that no one has seen before.
I look at him as a hyphenate. I look at him as a writer-director, someone who sits down, conceives of something, thinks it up with just a blank piece of paper in front of him, and then has the ability to execute it into a visual image.
He's the leading architect in the world today. It's very easy to say. If you say, wow, when you're in a place, you must be something happening.
Well, and the challenge is to get it in 2 dimensions on film.
Oh, God. Hopeless. You better give it up and become an architect.
See how this unfolds and is welcoming?
Yes.
And is carrying you in?
I'll just take this to... I think we're running out of time, so let me just quickly go to just the last thing. Okay, so trying to bring all of this together. So work that we were doing with MTIB in Malaysia basically was 2 or 3 different things. One of them was to write a business plan, economic plan for the future of the furniture and design industry. The other one was to actually then start showcasing the very best of young designers. And this is Tangam being shown in Milan. These are the first group of 5 designers. Sujik was one of the second group. What happened was that 20,000 people visited us in 4 days. CNN brought in a film crew. Malaysia was suddenly on the map for design. I was lucky because of the fact that they actually put us in front of the main entrance. But it completely, dramatically changed things in terms of Malaysia's position and standing in the world as far as design is concerned. I haven't got time to run this, so if you can go to a YouTube video of me doing sustainability. So really my final message is this. Sarawak can become a regional hub for furniture and the timber industry through education and through creativity. The analogy I want to offer you is what happened in the UK with Formula One racing. So basically, a small centre of specialists located around Oxford started making award-winning racing cars 20 plus years ago. And that attracted some of the best talent in the world, the best engineers, the best scientists. All right? And then supporting that is world-class prototyping. So you think that Ferrari or Mercedes and all the rest of it, they're actually doing these things in Germany and Italy. No, no, it's all been done in the UK. I think we can do exactly the same thing here with Saradec. So the role of Saradec is critical to building the furniture industry here in Sarawak. And I just want to leave, I just want to leave you with what happened in Singapore. So 2014, the National Design Centre opened in Singapore. And it totally transformed things for Singapore. They're already doing very well. But it basically brought a crowd in, brought people in to actually buy furniture and other products from Singapore. So you already have, let me just find it here. You already have the economic transformation of Sarawak. There's a couple of pages in here. My nephew actually was the guy that actually drafted this. But really what I'm suggesting is that in fact you can start planning for the future to really dramatically change, not just the furniture industry and the timber industry, but Sarawak through the right plan and taking action to use the best design talents that you've got here. So my final request is, don't talk about it, do it. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. An insightful presentation from Yang Berbahagia, Dr. Professor Ian, who will be here for the next 4 days of the Design Week, along with other invited speakers from Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, as well as Korea. Dr. Ian will be moderating our speakers podium starting from this afternoon. So make sure you catch Dr. Ian along with our other invited speakers here at the Design Pavilion. Honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, it gives us great pleasure and honor to invite our guest of honor, the Right Honorable Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Haji Abdul Rahman Zohari bin Tun Datuk Abang Haji Openg, Premier of Sarawak, to deliver his speech and to officially open Sarawak Design Week 2023.
Terima kasih saudara pengurusi majlis. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera. Yang berhormat saudara Datuk Amar Haji Awang Tengah Hadi Hassan, Timbalan Premier Sarawak. Yang berhormat Timbalan Menteri, Tuan Yang Terutama Bapak Raden Singgit, Konsul Jeneral Indonesia dengan Ibu, pegawai-pegawai kanan kerajaan, seterusnya tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian. I must congratulate the organizer for having a new design for us to interact this morning. But I hope people at the back won't mind, because I'm facing this front, not you at the back. Ini adalah satu perubahan. Maybe it is purposely done so that people can interact between the audience and the speaker. Saya mengucap tahniah dan syabas kepada pihak Saradec di bawah pengurusinya Datuk Nordin dan juga CEO-nya Dayang yang telah dapat membawakan Sarawak Design Week di Bandaraya Kuching. Dan saya juga mengucap tahniah tadi dengan lagunya I Have a Dream.
Yes.
Saya teringat waktu saya menjadi Menteri Pelancongan, itulah lagu yang saya promote. I have a dream for Sarawak. Hari ini dream kita adalah 2030, di mana Sarawak akan menjadi satu kawasan wilayah yang maju di Malaysia, yang mempunyai pendapatan tinggi. That is our dream. Will become reality, insyaAllah. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, STDC through Datuk Ahmad Wang Tengah, and also Saradec through Datuk Nordin and the group, have been trying to transform our timber industry. We cannot be exporting our logs only. We cannot be exporting our plywood only. But we must give the value to the resource that we have. And this is part of our, what we call circular economy. You have to make full use of your resource, including wood waste. As a result, we want to have our people, human capital to be creative. Thus, we have this collaboration between us and UNIMAS, as well as ITB Indonesia. We know ITB has a very long history, also producing President Sukarno when he studied engineering in ITB, and they are well positioned to share knowledge between ITB, UNIMAS, and Saradec. We have sent 26 fresh graduates under Krusi Pusaka, together with UNIMAS. The graduates were sent to ITB Bandung, and they learn through practical experience, as well as through the lecturers in ITB. Thank you, Pak, kerana mengajar anak-anak Sarawak di ITB. Dan seterusnya, eventually they have the expertise, at least the fundamental expertise, to create furniture that is unique as well as demanded by the market. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian, saya di sini ingin nak menyatakan bahawa the Sarawak government is very serious to transform our wood-based industry. The Say Designer Sarawak, we have, as mentioned by the Minister, Deputy Premier, we have 100 designs that are waiting to be a commercial product that can be exported to the market. And today I just want to give you a certain scenario where Sarawak is. Our export market worth about 3.1 billion ringgit, timber-based market, and timber primary products. Furniture is only 44 million out of that 3.1 billion, meaning only about 1%, 1.5% of the total export of our timber product. But we have designed our policy toward 2030. This also designed. We have calibrated. We feel that by 2030, Sarawak should produce 75% of the total export of 8 billion ringgit. 75% means 6 billion ringgit. Now is 44 million. Can you reach up to 6 billion for the next 7 years? You have a dream. That is your dream. And we have to upgrade the technology as well as the creativity of our human capital. If other countries can transform leapfrog, I'm sure our young designers can do it. Ladies and gentlemen, for me as your state government leader, I have to transform our GDP to 282 billion from the present value in order to be a developed state. And it is really a call. But if I can do it, I'm sure our designers can do it also. But we must have a good journey roadmap in order to achieve that objective. This exhibition is a way for us to educate, create awareness of how important is technology, how important is creativity, and how important is your flexible approach towards market, because market keeps on changing. If you study any business corporation, why the Japanese cars can overtake European cars in terms of market position? Because the Japanese are very innovative. With respect to European, they are a bit behind the Japanese. That is why Toyota, Nissan are there in the automotive industry. I think the same goes with furniture, because in the car, you also need designed wood-based products in the car. In other words, if you have design from Sarawak who can innovate and have certain imagination, perhaps our automotive industry, the interior design, have something to do with design from Sarawak, at least at the dashboard. If you can do it for the car, you can also do it for the plane. So in other words, our timber industry is not only confined to chairs, not only confined to tables, but the whole spectrum of design that are needed in the market. And this is where our designers must go beyond the conventional design. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sarawak government, we are giving incentive to our designers who are very interested in these wood products that have high value. Certainly, when you talk about wood, it doesn't confine with wood only, a combination of other materials. Wood plus steel plus other materials that can be a product that is needed in the market. It's actually a combination of creativity. So along that line, the state government is proposing to have our furniture park. We got the space, and think we will allocate the seed capital for the park, and then we can allocate all these SMEs, wood-based, to be located in the park. And of course, Dato' Amar Awang Tengah will install IT digital facilities in the park. Because you can simulate your design. At the same time, you can simulate certain data that is needed in producing the design. I'm sure those who are very IT savvy here, you know there's a new chat GPT or chat AI. You can ask the chat how to design a furniture. They will give you the reply. It is what we call AI generated chat. You can go to the website now. It doesn't mean that I refer to the chat just now to speak to you. Because you cannot rely 100% on the chat or the data that is given in the chat. You must, get the data as part of your solution. Dato Professor just now was talking about solution. Actually, design is connected with that because space is important. Singapore hasn't got space. Singapore hasn't got energy. Sarawak has got space. Sarawak has got energy. The only thing is we have to have our own creativity. If you combine the two, Sarawak can be the forefront of Malaysia in technology based on you. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope the audience design today will transform our mindset. We must go beyond that and try as far as possible for us to move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, time is very precious. I got something on also after this. That's why I use jacket, not batik. Otherwise susah tukar-tukar. Jadi I use this straight away to my other duty. But what is important is we can interact and then explore the future for Sarawak. And we are very blessed. We have the core material that is wood. Now, at the same time, we have to compete between carbon trading and the use of trees. The two are now competing because the Sarawak government also want to protect our forests as a carbon stock, meaning we don't cut trees. But we have a lot of waste from trees. If you go along the river, you can see the debris along the river. But those debris can be turned into raw materials, just like fiberboard. And that can become a material for you to produce wood-based products. And in our jungles, we got a lot of waste. But then we have also old furniture. Sometimes the design no longer relevant unless you like classic products. But for the purpose of commercial product, even the old furniture can be reused as a raw material for you to produce modern furniture with modern design. And that means that new furniture over a period of 15 years will become a waste. So we cycle the raw material, and that is part of our circular economy, and therefore we can protect our environment. With that sort of scenario, once again, I would like to extend my congratulations to Saradec and the staff for organizing this design week. If it's successful, I can assure you it will become annual for us to attract people who are in industry to exchange knowledge as well as ideas on the production of furniture. With that, once again, thank you very much, and I wish organizer all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir, please remain on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, may we invite the Honorable Dato' Amar Haji Awang Tengah bin Ali Hassan, His Excellency Bapak Raden Sigit Wijaksono, Yang Berbahagia Dato' Haji Muhammad Naruddin bin Haji Majais, Dr. Imam Santosa, Yang Terhormat Dr. Engineer Khalid Idam Abdullah, and Yang Berbahagia Dato' Haji Hashim Haji Boja, General Manager of STIDC, to join and accompany the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak to officiate and to officially open Sarawak Design Week 2023. To officiate the inaugural Sarawak Design Week 2023, we invite the Right Honourable Premier to place his palm on the digital screen, sir, if you will.
Arti perjuangan masa lalu kini dan masa depan berdampingan sebagai bangsa merdeka budiman di mata dunia semesta bergema suarakan syair pelbagai budaya pelbagai bangsa membina sama.
Inaugural Sarawak Design Week 2023 is now officially launched. Again, we kindly request our honored guests to remain on stage to witness the MOU exchange between Saradag and 4 organization. We're going to start off with the MOU exchange between Saradag and University of Technology Sarawak. Saradag will be represented by its CEO, Puan Dayang Nena binti Abang Bruce, while University of Technology Sarawak is represented by Professor Dr. Harudin Abdul Hamid, Vice Chancellor of the university, accompanied by Engineer Ahmad Lufti bin Muhammad Lasa. The MOU is for a strategic collaboration to facilitate in-skills training, build career paths, and co-organize retechs, and so on in the future. Congratulations, Saradag and UTS. Next, ladies and gentlemen, is the MOU exchange between Saradag and College Community Miri. Representing College Community Miri, we invite Yang Berusaha, Encik Hazata bin Moshidi, Pengarah College, accompanied by Yang Berusaha Puan Yusma binti Yusof. MOU is to facilitate skills training at Saradag Say designers, build career path for them, and organize the Incubator and Slim program. Ladies and gentlemen, the next MOU exchange is between Saradag and Sarawak Timber Association. STA is represented by Mr. Wong Ting Chung, its honorary secretary, accompanied by Ms. Annie Ting Yendeng. The agreement is to work closely together and collaborate with other relevant agencies towards achieving a target of 6 billion ringgit worth of value-added products. And our final exchange, ladies and gentlemen, is between Saradag and Korea Furniture Association, or KOFA. KOFA is represented by Mr. Yom Tae-hun, CEO of Korea Furniture Industry Association, accompanied by Mr. Lee Soo-jong, the Director of Korea Furniture Association. MOU is to build design talent and creative design for the growth of the furniture industry and design industry of Korea and Sarawak. Ladies and gentlemen, KOFA would also like to present all our distinguished guests with a special souvenir. First presented to the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak. And also presented to all our distinguished guests on stage. Once again, congratulations to Saradek and KOFA. Thank you very much to representatives from Korea Furniture Association. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, is the presentation, a special gift to our guest of honor, the Right Honourable Premier of Sarawak, presented by the Honourable Dato' Amar Haji Wan Tengah bin Ali Hassan. It's actually a combination of a couple of items. First, a beautiful craft. Another beautiful craft is to be presented by the Honourable Deputy Premier to our guest of honor. Another beautiful craft. This is a jati craft accompanied by a beautiful flower, our very own orchid that Sarawak is known for. And to complete this gift, we invite the Right Honourable Premier to place the orchid into that beautiful jati craft. Silakan Yang Amat Berhormat Premier. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Institute Technology Bandung would also like to present our guest of honor with a special gift. We invite Dr. Imam Santosa to present our Right Honourable Premier with the special gift. A beautiful traditional kris. Presented to the Right Honourable Premier from Institute Technology Bandung. How about a round of applause? Thank you very much. And we now invite our guests of honor and all our distinguished guests to take their seats. For coming up next, we have got a special multimedia presentation, a short video on our young designers and the prototypes that they have produced. So may we kindly direct everyone's attention to the screen and enjoy this video with an original composition song written by Dr. Imam Sentosa himself. Let's roll VT.